Well, so we're looking at what the stories are on the front and back pages of the newspapers. This time they've been summarized on the news portal myjoyonline.com, and so please start with the Daily Graphic.
The Daily Graphic newspaper front page headline: protects the poor, invest in labor to reduce conflicts. Story says that the Trades Union Congress, the TUC, has suggested to the government to factor into the 2016 budget statement employment creation, investment in labor market institutions, social protection for the poor, and support for the private sector. Don't we make provisions yet? We don't see the impact, do we?
Yes, we don't. I guess we need a lot more reinforcement and making sure that we do the activations adequately for the private sector and the labor market to also have or be the end beneficiaries of some of the things that we tend to do as far as we're concerned. NPP supporters attack Kwabena Agyapong. This has been in the news, I believe, for the last 20 hours, or let's say 16 hours. And supporters of the New Patriotic Party yesterday, they attacked the General Secretary of the party, Kwabena Agyapong, at the party's headquarters at Asylum Down in Accra. And almost like we got the best visual as far as that is concerned. Joy News.
Shouldn't we say some supporters?
Yes,
because it looks like there are divisions now.
Yeah, you can say some supporters. Yes, you can say. Police impound 800 vehicles for misuse of DP number plates. If they're going for auction, we'll say please.
Well, is that what happens to the vehicles?
If you don't go, yes.
Okay.
If they don't come to collect them.
And these monies go to where exactly?
Government chest. The Accra Region Police Command has impounded 800 vehicles in an effort to enforce the ban on misuse of unregistered vehicles or number plates.
The Daily Guide newspaper now, Afoko sues Nana over suspension. So 3 supporters of the embattled national chairman of the New Patriotic Party have filed a motion for interlocutory injunction at the Human Rights Division of the High Court, seeking to restrain the leadership of the party, including the presidential candidates Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, from suspending Paul Afoko as party chairman. But Nana Akufo-Addo was not at the meeting.
He was not.
No, he was not.
Not at all.
But whatever decision binds on
I guess so. And especially since he issued a release also saying whatever the party structure had intimate or projected or also communicated, that very decision.
Do they realize that this is November 2015? You know, exactly a year to the elections.
Yeah.
They don't get it, do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's almost like we're left with only...
No, well, because the election will be in November. I mean, if all the processes are followed through, then it means we're moving from December 7 to November 7.
So it's exactly a year.
Yeah.
Exactly a year. Kwabena Agyapong vehicle smash. And you just take a look at how the Daily Guide decided to write the intro for their story. They said leadership of the New Patriotic Party has condemned an attack on the vehicle of its General Secretary, Kwabena Agyapong, which is true because they issued a statement after the incident.
But it's not enough condemning. This is not new. This is something that happens. It's become parts of the headquarters now. I mean, you can pitch camp there, knowing that, I mean, like, by all means, you know, I think they should work on it.
Yeah,
it's not enough
to.
just issuing a statement and saying that you've condemned an action like this. This is not a small action. Do you get it? This is a whole General Secretary.
The point is, you know, when the following of a group, let's say a political party, have a certain mindset or have been conscientized in a way, it becomes very difficult to say that they shouldn't go according to what their conscience and dictates tell them. So it behoves on the leadership to really go into the minds of the electorate of their party and speak to them.
Can I ask a question? You know that Paul Afoko and Kwabena Agyapong were voted for?
Yes.
So they've also got members.
Massively.
Yeah, they won the elections that were held. That's why they are General Secretary and you know, then Chairman. Exactly. So I think some people are forgetting the fact that they also have supporters.
A certain comment. We'll see how that goes. Demo rocks Fifi Kwete, and members and sympathizers of the NDC, together with residents in the Ketu South constituency of the Volta region, took to the street to protest against Fifi Kwete, the Member of Parliament for the area.
Maybe more reading of the story will give us a better understanding.
Yesterday I got some news.
Is that your constituency, by the way?
No, it's not. Yes, and I got something from the constituency leaders of the party. They sent me a statement. They thought we can rebroadcast about how one of the nominees had been disqualified. And I said, well, we needed to make sure that we created a level playing field for everybody. It's not as if we're trying to just bring negative news on one or the other. But I'm sure that will hit the news headlines by the close of today as well. On the front page of the Finder, we have all passports still valid. And the need to acquire biometric passport is gradually dawning on many Ghanaians as some foreign missions demand that visa applicants use machine-readable passports and acquire biometric passport before they are granted. I don't think that's bad at all. And court injunction deepens NPP crisis. And we are at the end of doom, so.
Are we?
Okay.
Mr. Kwabena Donkor, are we?
Dr. Kwabena Donkor is a Prime Minister.
Are we? I'm asking him. He says we are at the end of doom, so are we? Is that it?
He said
it gets worse before it gets better?
Usually that's...
I'm not using December to determine, because, you know, usually during the festivities, they would give us, because typically factories will also go on break, would have some kind of power to give to residential facilities. So I'm not going to look at the situation in December to conclude if it has improved. I'm waiting for January, February, not even in January, because January is still very much people are on break. So February, March, April, more like it.
We'll see how that goes as far as this is concerned. We have the Telegraph, Maravi.
Paul Afoko sues New Patriotic Party. That's not new. NDC accuses NPP of running away from debates on voters' register. Oh, see who's accusing now. Okay, so the ruling NDC has deplored attempts by the New Patriotic Party to avoid meeting with the panel tasked by the Electoral Commission to collate views.
But this is still
review. No, but they are taking part in the debate. They are taking. I don't know where that came from, because I had the director of elections of the NPP who said what they have some reservations as to the members of the panel.
Some members.
Exactly. So they've written to the Electoral Commission on that, but they say they're taking part in the debate. I don't know what that means. It's politics, y'all. Let's move on.
Accra apparently has cut a sword for start of work on some projects in Accra.
Okay, Roland, don't read it.
4 million.
What's cutting sword?
4 million Ghana
He's gone. The BNFT.
Is to build some sea defense walls around some of the areas.
A dream on paper? Or a reality on the ground? So we have the money?
Reality. Reality. It's coming from the Turkish government.
I want to see it happen.
It is $100,000.
I want to see it happen. Then we can review it. Please, let's move on.
All right. BNFT has on the front page Eurobond spending questioned as entire $1 billion used to pay debts. We know about that even before it was acquired. And regulatory agencies woefully understaffed. And according to the public regulatory agencies, they engage in the issuance of permits, licenses, and business certificates. They say they are poorly staffed as businesses bemoan delays and their non-commitment.
Who's poorly staffed? The public regulatory agencies. Oh, so such as the PUWU that we had here yesterday.
No, that's the union. That would be PURC. We have NCA. They are the regulatory agencies. So to speak.
They are understaffed.
Security Exchange Commission.
But are they telling us we don't hire, do we? No. Isn't there a freeze or something?
Yeah, there's a freeze. But we have some other stories we would want to look at on the news portals.
Yeah, let's go to myjoyonline.com. Still, Afoko's lawyer screams contempt of court. Once Freddie Blay in jail. You won't believe it, but a bit of the story for you. Counsel for Paul Afoko, the suspended national NPP chairman, wants 8 members of the party's steering committee punished for going ahead with a committee meeting he believes constitute contempt of court. Now, he spoke to Joy FM yesterday. If you listen to the conversation, he says, including somebody being put in jail. We want to see that happen, don't we? Let's go to City FM.
I'll be fascinated. At least it will also bring a lot more drama to our politics.
Okay. Now, these are pictures of the vehicle.
I'm not sure that's going to happen, though.
Yeah. Pictures of Kwabena Japon's vehicle allegedly damaged. That's it. That has been published. This is not a joke. I mean, this shouldn't be happening. That's
yeah.
an office where people work. It's not like he went with tax.
I think that sometimes perhaps the NPP don't know how much of a following they have beyond the boundaries of their core supporters. You get what I mean?
They do. I'm sure they do, but
no,
I mean,
they have their core supporters. They have a following, but perhaps they are underestimating the supporter base.
Is it
beyond
support
their core.
or interests? Because the media, I mean, this is something that we would hide. When it comes out, when it happens, we report.
No, it's not. It's a matter of what the media will report or not, because the media, even if the media is supposed to be on your side, they'll still report whatever happens in your camp. So that's got nothing to do with it. It's about doing a lot more introspection and picking out signals in your environment, not necessarily their environment alone, but the general
You're thinking
political.
too far. They are not there yet.
No, I think they should be there. They should be there, because you see, right now we don't need this. And if you look at, because we have precedents of elections, and prior to a year before the election, a party in opposition.
We've got more pictures, Fred.
Yes, and after a government having gone through 2 terms, you should be thinking about what you're giving the electorate, what the alternatives are, and you should be giving them a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
You have to preoccupy our minds with the thought process of what we should be whetting our appetite or salivating on. Oh, if the NPP comes, they're going to do this. Not things about internal wranglings. They're not necessary, I think. We'll see how that goes, but we'll bring you a lot more perspective on this. We'll be having Obiamo on our show on AM Talk, and I'm sure he'll give us a lot more perspective on the current subject.
We're also hosting the Deputy Majority Chief, the Deputy Majority Whip in Parliament as well. Okay, so another story on City FM. Professor Ade Bedu Akosa to be dragged before Privileges Committee. Yesterday, my guest, Jose was hoping that this issue would have died down. Nobody will bring this up. But former rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, Professor Stephen Adai, and the former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Bedu Ajimai Akosa, will soon be dragged before Parliament's Privileges Committee to substantiate their claims that members of Parliament are corrupt. I don't know exactly what Mr. Bedu Akosa said.
You mean Professor Bedu Akosa said?
Yeah, but I remember what
well.
Mr. Adai said. But if you're interested in reading the story, you can. They can call them, yeah. Let's do BBC quickly before we wrap up, because we've got lots of messages on WhatsApp. Ivory Coast election, Alassane Ouattara wins second term. Remember yesterday, the opposition member had, conceded more like it, and I said we're waiting for the official announcement. Here we are. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara has won a second 5-year term with a nearly 84% of the votes. Electoral Commission officials say he's done a fantastic job, and that's why they're giving him another 5-year term. Yeah.
I hope they are running for only 2 terms.
Well,
they don't change constitutions, do they? Because you never know.
Even Rwanda is thinking about it. Let's do this final one.
African countries,
Roland's namesake, Paul Walker, one of the fine guys around. He had to die, sadly. But Paul Walker,
but good thing though, he left a lot of money for his daughter.
Yeah.
$44 million.
And even in death, he's rich. I mean, richer than a lot of people.
He earned $10 million. Well, reminds me of Michael Jackson. And Lord, Michael Jackson is now. I just mentioned it. It's number 1 for the 3rd year running with takings of $150 million. Where will so Charlie still which is come more?
Elvis Presley is dead.
He's been dead since 1977 or so, taking a lot more money.
I can't believe we're here reviewing people who have died
and they're still making money. As for us, when the top businessmen or entrepreneur, when they die, everything dies with them. Nothing. We don't even remember the 10 years after. But don't worry. So let's go up. Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Charles Schulz. We have Bob Marley, Ganga Rasta, Muna Rasta, and Shatta Wale's grandfather. We have Elizabeth Taylor. Oh, another one. Marilyn Monroe still collecting money. She didn't even have a daughter. John Lennon still making money.
Albert Einstein.
Father of physics. We also have Paul Walker and Betty Page.
Yeah.
Gazel, Steve McQueen, and James Dean. James Dean died in the 50s, I believe, or 60s.
So who's spending all these monies?
Their estate. They didn't leave estate. For us, we leave everything to
Surely.
crash and
Surely.
deteriorate.
All right, listen, we've got Emmanuel from Abidjan who sends us a message. He says, good morning, Roland and Mama V. You guys are doing great work for Mother Ghana, and I congratulate Ivorians for peaceful elections.
Oh, great.
We're
great.
proud of Ivory Coast too, but can you imagine messages are...
Yeah, we have a lot from the US as well. This one from Sam Nikeni from the USA, and then we also have a couple of others as well, and Paula Foucault, the MPP, and etc.
Yeah,
we'll have to say thank you very much for those comments as well. Next, we have to bring you sports. We know my team Chelsea were in trouble, but this is what we want you to do. Send your motivation to the number 0560 800,000. 0560 800,000.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. I mean, the messages that are coming through.
Right.
Our Facebook page is still very much active. You can also go on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. Let us know what you're thinking. Stay with us. We'll bring you sports. And then we'll bring you a lot more. Remember the little girl story we shared yesterday, the 5-year-old who needs some surgery to correct some difficulties and challenges that she's having. We're expanding the issue here. This could happen to any child. And so we're opening up the discussion. And a lot of you also called yesterday after the story to want to contribute. Today, we'll tell you how. And we're appealing for a lot more of you to come forward and help that little 5-year-old.
We need how many?
94,000 Ghana cedis, and it would take, I understand, it would take about 5 years to correct what she has, unfortunately. But that money is what they will need to do the surgery. So please get your checkbooks ready. Stay with us. It will be on my banner this morning.
Fundraiser. Well, we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more sports for you.